Okay. Okay, we're live. All right, welcome everybody to the second Jade Mountain Library live stream. So first order of business, we have a brand new streaming schedule figured out. Okay, and for some reason I am hearing I'm hearing my own audio delayed right now.
It's because you're watching the stream. There's the playback of the stream.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's paused. Okay. So anyway, new streaming schedule figured out. We will be streaming monthly on the first Saturday of every month. The only reason we're not doing this tomorrow, because I am fully aware today is a Friday, is because tomorrow is the 4th of July, and we didn't want to interfere with any plans that you Americans out there may have, because we want as many viewers as possible, because this stream is directly dependent on the viewers. We're going to start by introducing ourselves and basically going in order, describing our history with the whole Wings of Fire series and how we came to be a part of Jade Mountain Library. So, hold on just a second. I'm going to go ahead and ping the server, let everyone know we're live. Okay, server has been pinged. Okay, so my story with Wings of Fire, I've been a fan for a long time. I should probably introduce myself. I'm Crabapple7, one of the directors for Escaping Peril, editor for both Escaping Peril and Talons of Power, and my main voice role in the series is Kibble, but I also have done a couple of other minor characters. So I was first introduced to Wings of Fire about 2013. One of my friends at the time was reading it, and he showed me the Dragon Guide at the beginning of the book. He showed me the map, and he told me some of the plot details, and I was interested. I convinced my mom to buy the first book on Kindle, and I just kind of kept going from there. By the time I was done with book 4, I still had to wait a whole month for book 5 to come out, longest month of my life. But from then on, I was just kind of a casual reader until I discovered the YouTube fandom in late 2019. So it started with joining a casting call for a Winter Turning audiobook. And even after that, I kept joining project after project, auditioning for voice roles. Some of them I got, some of them I didn't get the roles, some of them just straight up died. But anyway, on to the creation of Jade Mountain Library. So in the Winter Turning server, after a couple months of hearing nothing from the owner, so me and I think it was me and Void.
Also
Void, you wanna? Yeah, and you. But I think it was like me and Void who started the initial conversation. Void, do you want to unmute yourself and say anything? Okay, guess not. So anyway, so we were pretty fed up with the lack of activity, and I just kind of threw out the idea, hey, what if we were to either take over this project or maybe just go start our own? And as you can probably tell, we decided to go start our own. We decided on doing Escaping Peril. And from there, I think this is where everyone else should take the reins, because this is where the bulk of my story stops. Anyone else want to go? One of the Talons of Power guys?
Yeah, hey Zach, how y'all doing today? My name is Thunder. I am a director over at Talons of Power. I voiced Prince Vermilion in Escaping Peril, and I voiced Mandrake in The Poison Jungle. So, our start with JML came after Escaping Peril already had about 2 months worth of work into their server or whatnot. I had the idea, and I got a couple of friends that I had together from other servers to kind of make Talons of Power a thing, because I was kind of motivated to start my own project or whatnot. So, so we did that after a while, and then The Poison Jungle came along shortly after, and then, Crab had a very fantastic idea to kind of unify all 3 audiobooks together on the same channel. And that's kind of how, JML came together from our perspective from Talons. I got my start from Wings about 2 years ago when I picked up my first book, the Dragonette Prophecy from the bookstore. It just kind of took off from there. So we have two other directors from Talons here. We have and Ari, so I'll turn you over to them so they can tell you their side of the story.
Alright, I'll go first. Hi, Melody. I have a very minor role in Chapter 3 of Talents of Power. My story is, similar to Crabs, my friend showed me the series a few years back. It showed me the map, dragons and stuff, told me some of the plot lines, the prophecy. I was interested, so I convinced my mom to let me buy it when we headed to a big city. But the thing is, she was only going to get me book 1. But it wasn't just individual. We had to get the entire 5-book set. That's my story with the Wings of Fire series. Then I joined Sounds of Power server through under my director, and then Crab had the idea of making JML, and that's how we got to this point. That perspective, at least.
Okay, Ari, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. So, I'm Ari. Yeah, that's not my full name, but yeah, sure. Okay, so I'm one of the directors of Talents of Power. Well, really, assistant director. So my Wings of Fire story started when I was 4, and I got the first book, and my mom read me the prologue. And if you guys remember, it was there was like death in it and stuff. Burn did some stuff, and so I cried after that. And my mom said like, yeah, maybe you should read this later. So then we fast forward to when I was around in like 5th grade, and I had this like audiobook and ebook site that I would go on, and I was reading Goosebumps, and then I just saw Wings of Fire, and I was like, might give this a try. So it kind of went on from there, and I got more involved in Wings of Fire projects. I saw JML in one of the advertisements of one of the servers, and I got the role for Prince Turtle from there, and yeah, so that's my major role, and yeah, so they were hiring directors for Talents of Power because one of them left, and I just thought, I might not do it because I don't really have any experience in being a director, but I just decided, why not just start here? So I filled it out, and here I am.
Okay, so I guess let's go back to the Escaping Peril directors for a minute. Desert, Void, do you guys have anything to say?
Where do you want to go first? Void?
Okay, I guess. Yeah, I guess you can go.
Hello, I'm Desert here. I'm one of the directors of Escaping Peril, and you may recognize my voice for Peril. That's my major role, and in the future I'm gonna play Willow for the Poison Jungle, which I'm very excited about. And my experience with Wings of Fire started with a video of Tenel Flowers, where she made the Drawing a Blank episode about, I think it was either Glory or Clearsight. Yeah, it was Clearsight. And I remember that I really liked the idea of dragons having peculiar powers or skills and then being different tribes and all of that stuff. And I was like, okay, maybe give this series a try. So I went to my local library and searched for the first book. And I remember that it took me a little bit to start actually enjoying the series, because I don't know why, but I started the first book and I wasn't exactly involved. I don't know why. But when I started, I fell in love with it immediately. Problem is that where I come from, it's hard to find the books, and they only translated the first 5 books plus their stalkers, so we didn't exactly have the good chance to get them without any problem. So I had to wait quite a while, and I started reading them last year. I think it was still 2019, I think. I don't know. But I remember that when I pick up the books later on, I devoured them. In a day, when I discovered that I could order them online, I ordered them all. And I spent the summer just reading them without any pause. I finished the whole second arc in a week, probably. And I managed to finish the rest of the other 2 books from the third arc in just in time to get the Poison Jungle, actually. But I started being on YouTube and in general in the fandom starting from September of last year. And the first project I joined was Fireflies, a PMV series that is still yet to be published, about two dragons. And I don't want to stay here just babble about the series, but basically I had a role with Void and Ari, and it was
You okay? Desert?
I hope the power didn't cut for her.
Yeah. Yeah, she did say she had a storm coming, so that might be the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I guess I'll take this opportunity to mention something that I forgot to say earlier. So I said that this month's stream is directly dependent on you guys, the viewers, and I say that because you will have the opportunity to ask us questions, whether it be in the live chat or we have a Google form down in the description. Okay, Desert, you back?
Yeah, I'm back, sorry.
Alright, so you want to continue where you left off?
Where did I left off? That's the problem.
Fireflies.
Yeah.
Fireflies was there with Void, Ari, and a few other people, and that's where I discovered the series, the fandom. And later on, I joined quite a few projects because they liked my voice, and I felt very empowered of that. So I joined every single thing that I could join. And later on, I joined with Crab and Void in the Winter Turning audiobook, and from there we obviously started with J Mountain Library, as everyone has told before. And the only credit I take in the creation of this is the name.
Yeah, she came up with the name.
I'm very proud of that.
You
and the
should be.
background of the banner. I copied the J Mountain, I think was.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't think Void is still in the mood to talk. Poison Jungle Gang, do you want to go?
I can go. I am a Stubby Wombat. I am owner for the Poison Jungle. I am a voice actor for Escaping Peril. I play Queen Ruby, and I'm also a voice actor in my own audiobook as Cobra Lily. I was first introduced to Wings of Fire by a friend a couple years ago when I first joined online school. And they were talking about Wings of Fire in the chat. So I was like, what is this? And I decided to look it up. And I first found, I think, the second book. I forgot what it was called. I found the second book and I started reading a couple of the books and wasn't that interested begin with, I didn't get really into the fandom until recently, where my friend Grogro, my friend and co-owner Grogro, had me help her with the project because she was invited to become an owner. So after that, we started to direct the Poison Jungle, and I started getting into more of the lore and the fandom itself. And so, yeah, that's my entire story. And I found all the dragons really fun to draw. I started to find a lot of the lines really interesting, and I found a lot of the stuff of this. I found Wings of Fire a very interesting topic in general. So yeah, I do not have a very big story, but that came to Wings of Fire.
Hello, I'm Grogro. I'm a director and owner of Poison Jungle, and I also have some minor voice acting roles in audiobook and other audiobooks. I first came to Wings of Fire when I was about 4 years ago. I was just in the library and picked it up, and it was cool. So I didn't really come to the online fandom until about a year and a half ago. And so far, I've really enjoyed it. It's awesome. People here are pretty cool. And there are a lot of cool projects to be involved in. As for how the Poison Jungle was created, basically just saw other people creating audiobooks. So, hey, that'd be cool thing to do. So I went ahead and did it. And it became a part of Jade Mountain Library. So, there you go.
All right, cool. Are we ready to move on to questions, if there are any? Okay, so for those of you in the live chat, if you have any questions, please post them now, and we may very well answer them.
I think their chat is delayed and they're still listening to Grogu. Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay, so Orangutan25 asks, what inspired you to start making the audiobooks?
Should we to that?
I mean, I guess any of us could answer it. I guess for me personally, it was more like I had been a part of the fandom for several months at that point, and I kind of wanted to start. Like I joined several other projects. As for which ones, I won't go into specifics now, but feel free to ask about that later. So I kind of started thinking, you know what, maybe it's about time I started my own. I want to make a mark on the fandom, but obviously this isn't all me. Like there's no way I could have done this without all of these guys here. Because obviously one person can't just manage 3 different audiobooks at once. So if anyone else has their own answer to the question, feel free.
Personally, yeah, I think I wanted to start audiobooks. Well, I was very excited to start audiobooks because from what I saw around the internet, no one ever did something like this. Well, managed it to do it. Because the only official audiobook we have are those read from Shannon McManus on Audible. So I think that when I joined Winter Turning, I was more excited about the voice acting itself than being an audiobook. And when Crab opted to just do our own book, I was like, okay, let's do it. I'm actually excited to do this. It's a great idea. Maybe we can finally do it, and we did it.
So, next question. Eval the Icewing asks, what's the largest project you've ever been a part of? Honestly, for me, this one.
I have the same answer. bad. This is the biggest one I've been a part of that's lasted a while.
I have to agree. This is the first one I've been a part of that's actually made significant progress.
Yeah,
Same
we've
here.
only been up. Yeah, we've only been up for like about 2.5 months, and we've already grown more than I could have ever imagined we would grow in that time.
Yeah, that's true. I remember the first week when we published the prologue of Skip and Pearl, we were going crazy because we reached 100 subscribers in 4 hours, and we were going nuts because that's impossible. How can something like this, just 20 minutes of audio, get 100 subscribers in 4 hours? We were crazy.
We can definitely thank Frozen Gem for that because she posted the
Oh,
speed
that.
paint video of her thumbnail entry.
Personally, the biggest project I've been is either Pepper Drake Productions or Animated Wings when they're trying to do the animated version of Dragonite Prophecy. But personally, this is the biggest one I've ever been because, contrary, I know it takes time, but we're doing so much progress here now. So this is big.
Anybody else want to respond to the question?
Yeah, sure. So for me, I actually used to be part of this like old Wings of Fire movie, and that was probably the biggest one, but it eventually flopped.
Yeah.
It got really close, but then it flopped. And so this is the only living one that, I mean, this is the living one that I'm part in, and it's really big. Yeah, has a big community.
Okay, anyone else before we move on?
I think that when I was asked to start working on the project, I thought it was really cool. This entire idea of having an online audiobook for people who either can't afford to get the books or can't access the books or any of that. And so I thought that was a really cool concept, and I was actually pretty eager to help work on the Poison Jungle. And so the concept of just having your own audiobook of which you have voice actors, editors, script writers, all of that, I thought that was really, really cool. So I think it's just a really interesting idea both for education and for other people.
Okay, everybody can move on.
Yeah. Anybody else want to respond?
All right, I'll take that as a no. Okay, so another question from Orangutan. Are you guys planning to do the first arc too? That is honestly kind of up in the air right now because it's going to take a long time to finish the ones that we already have. So doing additional books, especially from the first arc, that's still kind of iffy. Like if and when we ever do more books, I feel like I haven't really discussed this with anyone. This is just my personal opinion. I feel like it might be best to go ahead and round off the second arc.
Well, I think that our dream goal is to make the whole series and possibly the Wingless too if we have time and we're bored. But yeah, I think that considering how much time this is taking, we made some calculations and it's probably gonna take more than a year to finish this at this pace. We're trying to figure out how to do them faster and all of that, but yeah, we think it would be better to just start from the second arc and then go back to the first if we manage to do it.
Yeah, I remember doing the math. It's going to be like spring of next year by the time we're done.
I want to clarify the structure for people and why it will take so long. Basically, we're on a 3-week rotation each release for each server. So 1 week Escaping Peril will release theirs, 1 week Talons will do theirs, and then 1 week Poison Jungle will do theirs. So we're on a 3-week rotation right now between each upload for each audiobook.
Yeah, and conveniently it also takes just about 3 weeks to produce a chapter.
From voice acting to editing, yeah, it's about a 3-week process.
Yep.
Well, we could try and go with a publish whenever you're ready kind of thing, but We fear that it might be kind of messy, but at the same time, we want to finish these books and have the best quality ever. So it's a complicated question, but we'll do whatever we can to be able to give you the best results in the best time.
Does anybody else want to answer the question before we move on?
I think I would add to that I don't want to overwork any of our voice actors or editors or how anyone who's really volunteering for this. So that's why we kind of just have a slower rotation when it comes to releasing things. Yeah, so we don't overwork anyone.
Okay. Yeah, overworking people is the last thing we want to do. So, next question.
Okay, so Abel the Icewing asks, completely unrelated to audiobooks, but what's y'all's favorite animals?
Oh,
Aside from the obvious one, dogs, I'd have to say red pandas.
this is a complicated question.
I'd have to say bats. Bats are pretty cool.
For me, it's gonna be dolphins.
So he also said they may or may not be wanting to draw something to give y'all as a gift. Interesting.
You.
Very
look forward to
interesting.
it. So, anyone else want to share their favorite animal?
I think you guys probably already know mine after the crackhead chat, but yeah, a whale.
Yes, we have a crackhead channel. It's normal.
Yeah, it's just for when the owners are just goofing off, not really doing much.
Whales!
We can't be professional 24/7.
Yeah, at times like this, yes, we can be professional, but sometimes you just gotta let loose.
Tigers and geese are cool.
Sadly, I think we all know what's your favorite animal, but you want to say it?
All right. Has anybody else got any more questions from the chat?
I'm not seeing any.
Not either. We can go off of the community/project-based ones we have.
Yeah. So Bombat here compiled a list of questions that we can resort to if we don't have any in the chat.
Yeah. So, first question is, how would I join a project? Anybody want to take the lead on this?
I guess I will. So, in our main hub Discord server, there are links to each of the audiobooks that we have. Each one operates on its own Discord server, and they each have their own casting call club page where auditions will be submitted. And of course, voice acting isn't the only thing you can do. You can apply to be an editor. We hold contests for thumbnail art, or at least Escaping Peril does. I want to say Poison Jungle does that too. But Thunder, Talons of Power is doing something different, right?
Yeah, we just instituted this. We're going to try to do a thumbnail every chapter. We're going to see how it works. Right now we've got 4 chapters assigned going forward, so it's just going to be up to the artist to make the deadlines. If anything else, our fallback plan is just to fall back to our old format if need be, if the artist cannot meet the deadlines that we set for them.
Okay. Yeah, so for Escaping Peril and I think Poison Jungle, there are we're doing 1 thumbnail per part of the book. So if you've read Wings of Fire, you know the books are divided up into prologue, part 1, part 2, part 3, epilogue. We're doing 1 thumbnail for each of those. So our current thumbnail that we used for chapters 1 and 2, we're going to be keeping that all the way through chapter 5. And Grago just corrected me in the text channel. Apparently, Poison Jungle is trying to do the same thing as Talons of Power.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Okay, well, we'll leave that for a discussion for us later. Okay, does anybody else want to? Yeah, does anybody else want to?
Yeah, text chat
Okay,
on
go ahead,
Discord is
sorry.
going a little crazy. So
All
yeah,
right, so
we'll leave Poison Jungle on the iffy list.
yeah. All right, so the next community project-based question: is it possible to start another project with JML?
Well, right now I'd say we're busy enough with the ones we already have. It's like if we decide to start a new one while our current ones are still in production, it'll probably be until our current ones are mostly finished. So as of right now, we're not adding new projects, but we might in the future.
Right. Outside of right now, we just have a lot going on between 3 audiobooks to be able to manage and keep track of. So, just we're not ready to add any more projects onto our plate at the moment. Or we may in the future, but at the same time, we have to look at it from a workload perspective and from a sanity perspective. Because some days this gets a little insane, as any director here can tell you.
Yep. Sundays in particular, because that's usually when our deadlines are set.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Does anybody else want to answer the question, or are we ready to move on to the next one we have here? All right.
Yeah,
So the next question is, what is the progress on each project so far? Pero, y'all want to take the lead, and then I'll follow in, and then Poison Jungle can go after.
Okay. So.
Oh, go on.
Oh no, you can go if you want.
Oh my
I've been answering a lot of the questions.
I don't care. Go on.
Okay, fine. So for Escaping Peril, we are currently working on Chapter 3. It is just about to enter the editing phase. We just got a new narrator, so we're waiting on them to get their lines in.
All right. So, any Ari or Melody, do you want to update everybody where we're at?
I don't know. I forget if we're in the editing phase of Chapter 3 or not, but I believe we're still in the voice acting, like recording lines and stuff.
Yes. So, Chapter 2 releases this Sunday at 12 o'clock. So we should be good. We should be solid with that. Chapter 3, we're still waiting on. We're having to replace Starflight because our old voice actor for Starflight was unfortunately not active enough on Discord for us to be able to communicate with him effectively. So we're still looking for a replacement for Starflight. So if you know anybody that needs to that wants to audition or you think that has a good voice, please refer them to the Talons of Power CCC, and Escaping Peril also has Starflight open on theirs as well. Chapter 3 wise, after that we're just waiting on Starflight's lines, and then we can move into editing. All right, Poison Jungle, do y'all want to update them on your progress?
So we're currently working on our currently having an editing on Chapter 2, and we're also getting the two characters for our Chapter 3. We currently do need a nettle and a wolfsbane. Wolfsbane being a middle-aged male, and Nettle being a young female adult. Do you know anyone about that as well? I'd really appreciate it if you directed them towards the Poison Jungle. Nonetheless, we're currently working on getting our voice actors in and stuff for voice audios and stuff for Chapter 3. And Chapter 2 is in editing and will be released in will be released next Sunday, hopefully.
And Chapter 3 is scripted.
Okay, next question, I guess. What are future plans for the server?
I don't know if this is something we've really discussed. It's kind of vague. Future. Wombat, like future plans wise, what do you mean by that? Like plans for growth, or what we would like to institute into the server, things of that nature? Is that what you're trying to question here?
And so she said in the text channel, yes.
Gotcha. I don't know if I don't know if this is something we've really discussed besides trying to get a solid base for community nights. I mean, that's been our main focus right now, is kind of ironing out how and what we're going to be doing for community nights. We've done a movie night. We've also done a music night. We're trying to really figure out suggestions for that. So if anybody has any suggestions for that, please let us know, either in the suggestions tab in the JML channel and Discord, or you can let us know in the chat right now. See fit. You can also DM a director or anything like that. But right now we've only got music and movies. It's really because games are kind of vague on how we can play with you guys. There's not a lot of games that you can like community play. If you have any suggestions, please let us know.
Yeah, and obviously not everyone would have that game on the same compatible platform. Like if we were to do gaming videos or live streams.
Did I hit pretty much everything, or does anybody else want to add on to that?
No, you hit everything.
Okay, so next question: what events are there and how do they work? So like Thunder said, we've done a movie night and a music night before. We are trying to make those a regular thing, but we have yet to work out a concrete schedule. So did anyone else want to add anything to that?
No.
Welcome back, brother.
That kind of ties back into what we were saying for number 4 as far as questions wise. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that? All right, moving on. All right, question 6 is, what is the concrete thumbnail format? Confusion by question.
Well, that will vary based on which book you're looking at. So, and we discussed this earlier. So, Escaping Peril is doing contests for one thumbnail for each section of the book. Talons of Power is assigning a thumbnail for each chapter. And Poison Jungle is still up in the air about that.
All right, so the next thing is personal/director-based questions. How did you all come to join JML? I think we kind of answered that already in our intros.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any? We pretty much answered that. All right, so will you be staying when the project ends? Does that mean our current audiobooks that we're working on, or just like the whole entire project?
Assume the whole entire project with all the audiobooks.
Okay, will we be staying with JML after our audiobook ends? I'm assuming that's what we're questioning.
Yeah.
Anybody want to respond?
For me personally, I hope so. Because by the time all 3 of these are done, I'm going to be like almost done with high school, so I don't know how my availability is going to change after that. Like I might not be able to stay as a director, but I definitely want to stay as a part of this and continue working on it for as long as I can.
Yeah, for me, it's just going to vary on where I am with my career and whatnot. I'm currently with college, thinking about jumping into a college degree, or just waiting on the job I'm trying to get. So I don't know. It'll just depend on the timing and everything, if I will still be doing this or not after the project ends. So we'll see.
Yeah, I definitely want to stay with this as long as I can. Working on this is some of the most fun I've had in a long time.
Anybody else want to respond to that, if they're going to be staying after their project ends?
I think I'm going to stay unless something major happens with my career or something, or I need to focus more on anything. I don't know. I'm pretty confident I'm gonna stay here with you.
We're definitely gonna be dang. This is so
Um,
much fun. Like I want to remember the memories from this.
Yeah, this is something I'm gonna carry with me for the rest of my life.
You got a response to that?
I'm
Wombat or Grogro, are you going to be staying after the project ends, or are you going to be moving on to bigger and better things?
Yeah, sure. Hopefully I will as well. I would love to stay with the project and continue working with Stevie, or at least some of you. And I think it's just a really good. I just think it would be a very good place for me to stay, as well as just kind of learn how to manage project in general. And I think this is just really cool to have this role and have this opportunity.
Same here. By the time it's over, I'll probably be finishing high school up too. So I don't really know where that will take me or of time. I really definitely want to stay with you all in the
Aw.
project.
Gotcha. Alrighty, I think we've got pretty much everybody. I don't know if Ari wants to talk. He might be just listening right now. So, all right,
Oh,
let's.
yeah, I can.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I would definitely stay. I mean, it's really awesome what we're all doing, and the community and everyone is really nice, and it's all really great. So yeah, I'd love to stay.
Okay, so
Right.
next one, the next backup question that we have: what projects are you all involved in? Oh boy, where do I begin?
I have quite a list.
Yeah, same here. So
I think we
I
all
have
do
no
at this point.
control.
I
How
do
about
not.
what's
so
the most significant project that you're in besides JML currently? How about that? What's the most significant one to you?
I mean, I guess I could say a couple. Like, there's one that's got pretty much out already, and Desert Seer's in this one too. It's a voice acted map about Darkstalker and Fathom.
Oh yeah.
I voice Fathom.
And I'm Indigo, obviously, because I can be Darkstalker.
Yeah.
I wish.
So there's that, and then
I think.
Yeah, so-
I think. Oh, go ahead.
then
Sorry, I keep interjecting.
and then if
I
any of you
apologize.
watching know about the graphic novel dubs being done by Willowheart,
Yeah.
so the Mudwing Kingdom will probably be out sometime in the next few weeks, and I myself am the voice of Reed.
And I am the magnificent voice of Cattle's sister. I'll appear for 2 seconds, but it'll be glorious. Oh, and I also was one of the main singers, but let's say that the quality audio was a bit out of the standard. Something happened. I don't want to know what, but yeah.
I guess like mentioning the graphic novel dub, I guess that is kind of something else we could mention here because this has come up time after time on our server, like the legality of what we're doing. Like, are we technically allowed to do this? But since this is all nonprofit, like, we are making zero money from this. And like, we figured since it's all nonprofit, we should be fine. It's not like Scholastic is gonna hunt down a fan-made audiobook, and like I mentioned Willowheart, if she can get away with the graphic novel dub, then we can get away with this.
Definitely. And like the biggest thing, like you said before, is we're not for profit. This is just fully based on fun and for the community.
Yep.
Poison Jungle folks, do you have any answer to the question? Any other projects you're in besides JML?
I
right
have
now,
not been.
only in.
Okay, go ahead,
sorry.
Wombat. Somebody.
Okay, fine. I'm not involved in a whole lot of book projects currently, but I am, and I was before quarantine and everything. I was involved in a couple theater projects, so I think that counts just because it is technically acting, voice acting, whatever. And I was involved in another voice acting project. I don't know where it's at, but that was semi-big, I guess. But yeah, I wasn't involved in a whole lot of stuff before this, but I did have a project I was acting and voice acting for.
Now I'm not doing any other projects that aren't related to JML. Or really even before that, this is pretty new for me.
Gotcha. All right, so time for the talents, folks. I guess I'll start. So the only notable one that I was in before I started with JML was probably the movie server. I'm the voice of Marsh in the Dragonette Prophecy movie, if it ever does finally get off the ground. But that's a whole different topic for a whole different day.
To sum it up and clear out, basically this was a movie project that the previous narrator for Escaping Peril was the director for, and me, Void, Ari, Thunder, and I think that was all of us, had various voice roles. Void was Webs, I was Scarlet, and Thunder and Ari already say what they were, but because one reason or the other, the director decided to pass on the project to someone else, and we're starting to reorganize and restart again. It's gonna take a while, but who knows?
Ari and Melody, do you have any other projects? I think you probably answered already, but do you have any other projects that you're involved in or getting involved in besides JML?
Not me personally, unless that Pokemon One Crabs running counts. If not, then no.
Wait, what?
Unless that Pokemon server running counts as a project, then no, I am not.
Not really. That's a
No,
fun
we mean
thing.
we mean like voice acting projects.
Yeah, voice
Oh,
acting
no.
or anything you do. Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I'm in a few like fan-made Wings of Fire things. There's only one non-Wings of Fire thing that I'm a part of in voice acting. I play Reed in that Wings of Fire movie that Desert was talking about, and yeah, and then I play Turtle here.
Alrighty, I think that's everybody. All right, so let's move on to the backup questions that Wombat has so graciously graced us with. We're running out of questions. All right, so
Yeah, we would like some more
backup.
questions in the live chat, please.
Please help us. Okay. So what has been your favorite part of the project?
Oof.
That's a tough
Really?
question. Wow.
See,
Personally,
Hold on. We gotta know. We got another question. This is from Yellowstone the Sandwing. Answer the one that we just put first. Do you want to answer the fan one?
go with yellows.
All right. He says, "I want to know when you started this and the inspiration to which took you here."
Well, the idea for this was that was born in the inactive Winter Turning server. That was back in early March, I want to say. And so, yeah, 2 months of production led to the first video being released in May. And the inspiration that brought us here, we kind of talked about that earlier, but it kind of boils down to, like, for me personally, it was like I've been a part of so many projects, I kind of want to start my own.
And I think, it was a collaborative effort between several directors to kind of piece this thing together. I wasn't involved in building it. Yeah. It wasn't just, one person saying, okay, let's do this. I think if anybody who had the idea, it was kind of all collectively on our minds, Okay, we're three other audiobooks, so how are we going to release? How are we going to do our releases? What channel are we going to put them on? So, this kind of made it a very easy way. Just, no competition, no nothing. Let's all come together have a singular idea, and let's build something together.
Yeah, I think we
And
the wave started with the winter turning project, not sailing. The pun. And everyone just went with the wave, and we decided to become a tsunami together. Yeah, that
a
was a
very good way
weird
to
way to
put
say
it.
it, but yeah.
Oh, but that works, eh? But I think that's basically the gist of our inspiration for doing this. Besides the fact that we all wanted to build something for the Wings community to give back to something that's gave back so many memories and so many exciting moments for us.
Couldn't agree more.
So, anybody else have a response to that before we move on to the backup questions again?
The backest of the backs.
Right.
Eventually,
Okay.
eventually we're gonna need backup questions.
All right. What has
Fine.
been your favorite part of the project?
I think that I don't have a favorite part, but the ones I like the most are writing down the script and voice acting the parts and seeing the final result in the when we actually air it.
Yeah, for me, I guess my favorite part would be voice acting. I guess for Ghibli in particular, because Ghibli's personality is pretty much exactly how I act around my friends. So, and when I first read through the second arc, I'm sorry if I offend you here, but I kind of just glossed over Ghibli. He was just kind of there for me. Like, mostly because I think that's what makes him special. He's the only normal one of the group. Like, Moon can read minds and see the future. Winter is royalty. Peril has fire scales, and Turtle is an animus. What does Ghibli have? Nothing.
Yeah.
But
It's
voicing him
charming.
has given me a new appreciation for the character.
Crab, you might have just spoiled a little bit there.
Whoop.
Buddy, plug your ears. All right, since you're here, Ari, what do you think's been your favorite part of the making project so far?
I really do like the voice acting and working on the script and just seeing it all come together, but probably one of my favorite parts is working with you guys. It's been really fun and a great opportunity, and yeah, it's awesome.
There's too much wholesome feelings now. We need to fix it. It's not good.
Okay, Melody, what's your fit? Go ahead, Crab. Sorry.
Desert, if you're trying to end the wholesomeness here, we need to keep the wholesomeness.
Need to keep the wholesomeness.
I know, but I'm starting to get diabetes if this goes on.
Okay, so Melody, what's your favorite part of doing this project so far?
Probably most of everything that I do. Script writing can be an absolute horde sometimes because I process. If I have one character's lines, I have to scour from the beginning all the way back and then beginning all the way back for lines, and it's just a pain sometimes. Other than that, everything has been my favorite so far.
Wombat and Gra, what are your favorite parts to do in the project so far?
My favorite part has been meeting all these people and being out with voice acting, and it's been a lot of fun being with you guys, and that's pretty much it.
I think for me, I really enjoy the entire project. As a whole, I think it's really fun and been a great experience. And I think my favorite job as a whole is I really enjoy editing. I don't know why, but I found editing can be really fun sometimes. As much as it can be very tedious, it can be also very fun, and I enjoy doing editing a lot. And the voice acting is definitely really as well. That seems more of a game, not really a game, but an activity, a really fun activity than a job. But nonetheless, project's really fun, and I also love being around the community and with the director group, and it's really fun to be with all of them and with all of you guys, and it's really awesome.
I'm starting to get diabetes.
What
I
is,
love it.
what is wrong?
Yeah, like I can't really understand you right now.
So cute.
Are you okay?
No.
Do you need a minute? If you need a minute, you can go. If you need a minute, it's okay.
No, I'm fine. I'm joking.
Okay.
We're killing Desert with our wholesome.
I can just
Don't kill
imagine
me.
her just chugging a whole entire giant glass of sweet tea right now.
Oh my god.
just like one of the. I don't know if you have gas stations there or whatnot. Have you ever seen those giant supersized cups at gas stations? I just picture her with her in her hand right now drinking that. All right. So my favorite part of doing the whole entire thing so far has got to be release days, because being able to see your comments on our work that we've done, it makes everything so much more worth it. Just to see that people are loving what we're putting out, and that we're just, everything that we're instituting is successful. It just, for me, because at the end of the day, we do this for y'all. We do this, and it just seeing that positive feedback really helps us out, and it just really encourages us to keep going. So we appreciate all of it. So that's been my favorite part, has been release days, by far.
I agree. That's I love seeing the little number of everyone waiting and seeing everyone just kind of gather around for this episode that we put a lot of hard work into, and it's really awesome to see everyone, and I love that. I agree with Thunder there. That's one of the best parts as well.
It's also super fun to cringe at your own voice when in the place, and you're like, I should have done that better. But then you see everyone loving it, and you're like, okay, fine, I did a good work. I deserve this love.
All right, I think that's everybody. Anybody else have anything to add to that, or can we move on to our next backup question?
I think this was either the last one or the second to last one, so please, we are getting desperate here. Ask us more questions in the chat.
Please.
Yes, please do. Go on.
So, question 5. What has been one of the hardest parts? Mostly more server-based ones. Oh, never mind. Wait, that's a different message. Okay. What has been one of the hardest parts of doing the audiobooks? Oh.
I think it had to be orchestrating everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, for me, I kind of have to agree. Having to orchestrate everything, and especially when things kind of blow up a little bit and things go a little bit crazy, it's hard to because I'm in all 3 of the servers or whatnot, and this one, so it's hard to bounce back, and I have roles in all of them, so it's hard to bounce back and forth sometimes and keep up with everything that's going on. It's like you have to have 5 hands at once sometimes. Definitely orchestrating for me.
But
Everybody
yeah,
else?
if you don't have collaboration from your peeps or your workers, I can call them, it'd be very difficult to just manage to release things in time or just have people do their things.
Does anybody else want to respond? Because we do have some fan
Luckily, most of the
questions.
time that.
I have a quick response. Oh wait.
Go ahead. Now, Desert, finish your thought first, and then
No,
Wombat can go.
I did finish. Unless I cut off again. No, I did finish.
I think you cut off, but you're as long as you're good. Okay, Wombat, you go.
It's fine, I finished.
Okay. It's okay. I think my least favorite part would be, I don't want to say it's the thumbnails. I don't want to say that just because it's not like I'm drawing them or I have the time limit for it. I just feel like the entire situation with the thumbnails is always so very, again, I'm gonna use the word tedious, because it's just I don't it's a very delicate thing when it comes to thumbnails, because I don't want to have to ask artists to make thumbnails, and I really don't like to I just hate dealing with thumbnails. I'm just gonna be honest. Like I hate dealing with that.
Oh yeah.
I just don't want to make
Completely.
anyone overworked.
I'm gonna give my input real quick. As I said, script writing, the tediousness of having to go through every chapter for every page for every character is tedious.
Okay, all right. Anybody else want to respond? Because we do have some fan questions. Okay, all right. So, Arc de Cyberwing is asks, is anyone willing to help me host a Lost Hair audiobook?
I think we're all already very busy with our own projects. Not to be rude. We've already talked about. We've already said that we probably aren't going to add any audiobooks for a while.
Like, if you need help, we can give you some tips. But like directly helping manage it, we're a little too busy right now.
I mean, if you our DMs are always open, and that's what I stress to people more than anything. If you need advice, and you've seen how, and not to toot our own horn, how what we've done has worked. So if you need advice, then our DMs are open. You're always welcome to reach out to any of us here. We're more than happy to give advice to anybody within the fandom or with anybody that's looking to get a start in this kind of stuff. Everybody said before, we have kind of discussed that, and we are very kind of busy with our own projects at the moment, not to be rude.
Anyone else have
Anybody else
anything to add?
Okay. All right. So this next question is by Abel the Icewing. If you guys had to choose 5 superpowers, what would you choose? I think we should maybe just do 1 because 5 is kind of a lot to think about. What do you guys think?
Yeah, for 1,
Cut off. What did you guys say?
Oh, sorry. Okay, so the question is from Abel the Icewing. If you guys had to choose 5 superpowers, what would you choose?
In general or from Wings of Fire?
That's a good question. Let me try to get him to clarify. Wings.
Okay.
It's door opening.
right, so he said just in general. So, I guess it's kind of hard to pick 5.
For
For
stress
me?
lines.
For me, maybe the teleportation, flying, maybe telekinesis. Or of course I could just mix all of that and take a power from Wings of Fire, give myself animus magic.
I'm just gonna say 1. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ori. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks. I have one in mind, and it's kind of rigging the system, but the ability to have all superpowers.
Yeah, I'd say that's
That's a bit an overkill.
Ding.
yeah, Void just said in the text chat, that's just cheating.
I did say.
Even because you'd end up having all the superpowers, it would be overwhelming.
Like, okay, so like you could just say you give yourself animus magic, and then then your one power is the ability to enchant whatever you want, to do whatever you want.
Yeah, but without all.
Because that's how. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because now like, by giving yourself the ability to, like, just the power to have every power, like that just seems like cheating. But giving yourself animus magic, like, that is actually just one power.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you become God, by getting around the system.
Imagine if you also have mind reading and visions and all of that jazz.
Honestly, like, clear sight levels of future telling. I don't know if I would want that because she didn't
No,
seem
me
to be
neither.
able to. She didn't be able to seem to. Okay. Sorry, my words are getting jumbled here. It didn't seem like she was able to turn the visions off.
For
It's
me,
like-
it'd be. Go ahead.
Is like just having constant visions and potentially being able to trace the extinction of your entire tribe down to what you had for breakfast that morning. That would be kind of freaky.
Great breakfast.
I have to answer teleportation. I could travel anywhere in the world if I want.
But you may also want the ability to talk every language.
That's a really cool one, actually.
Yeah,
And we won't have
that'll make going on vacation in foreign countries a whole lot easier.
That's true.
Yeah.
For me, it's got to be and kind of background to this. I won't go too deep into it, but I watched a movie called Jumper. I think it's from like 2010 or 2011 or whatnot, and that it kind of had teleportation in it. So, and that was really cool to me. So, it'd probably be teleportation.
I think the powers I'd want would be the ability to go back in time because oh my god, so many mistakes. Like when you know that you made a mistake, like when in visual novels you get the bad reaction from the character, and you just want to go back in time and redo that.
I mean, I get that you want to use it
And
to fix
then
small
flight
things,
and
but
mind reading.
it's like I get that you would use time travel to fix small things, but I think we've learned from every time travel movie ever that you don't mess with the space-time continuum.
No, I just want to fix the minor things and get a better life again.
I know, but like, wouldn't that require interacting with your past self?
No, I would never do that. I mean, I would because, dear Lord, this child needs help. But no, I know the consequences, so I would never do that.
Do you
Even
think
if I
your
did.
another quick question? Do you think your past self would believe you?
No, no.
Exactly. Like if he was like
I'm
if a complete
skeptical of a
it's like if
person myself, so I would be like, no. I need the scientific explanation of this.
Okay, do we get? Okay, yeah, go ahead, Wombat. I was about to ask if you had answered yet.
I didn't answer. I have a very stupid power that I would want. It would be to just eat whatever I want and never gain weight. Because I love that power so much.
Oh my lord, I need
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Never gain weight.
Also, the power
Oh,
to be
yes.
perfectly shaped no matter what I eat, and I don't
Yes.
go
Just
from
wanna
what I
eat
am now to
everything.
perfectly fit.
I need that, please.
I think
Yes.
everyone does.
We gotta call that.
also the
We gotta
power
call that
self-esteem.
superpower gluttony. Yeah, that's a good one.
The power
Oh,
of
we gotta
self-esteem, everyone needs that.
We gotta call that food power gluttony supreme. That's what we gotta call that food power.
I like the name.
That was awesome. All right, anybody else want to respond to the superpowers comment before we move on?
I'd choose invisibility or the ability to communicate with animals.
Ooh. Oh,
Same.
nice.
Alrighty, all right. So Ark has another question. How did you come up with the idea for the audiobooks?
Again?
I know it's kind of.
Oh, I know.
kind of repetitive.
I know that they probably weren't around for the beginning of the stream.
Yeah,
though.
they weren't. They just joined a little bit late. So.
Yeah, so we pretty much spent the first like 20 minutes of the stream answering that question.
So basically, all three of us had separate, to kind of dummy it down in a nutshell, because the background is a little bit, kind of worn out at this point in talking about it. So all three of us had separate audiobooks, and we kind of fought, and Crab, I think, had the original idea, and we all kind of came together and organized around it.
Don't maintain it wasn't me who came up with the idea. Like I don't remember suggesting that.
No,
Somebody came up with it. I don't know. We've never. We'd have to
I'm pretty
research
sure it
through
was you
DMs.
because Void pointed out that this doesn't have any end, and I agreed. Then I think it was you, Crab, that suggested, how about we do one of our own? And then everything started.
Okay, okay. Yes, I remember it was me who threw out the idea of making our own audiobook, but not uniting all of the ones that sprang up into one channel.
No, it still was you. You came in the owner chat and said, "Hey, these other two people want to do this. Should we join?" Yeah, we joined. We did it.
Okay, I guess at this point, I guess I'll just take your word for it.
All right. Okay. Hopefully, we don't get that question again because it's getting kind of worn out. All right. So we don't have any other questions backlogged at the moment. So, what is our super? Okay. So this one's from Ari, and I thought this was good. Do you think JML will become more than audiobooks?
Frankly, no. I mean,
I mean,
we will end up finishing the books and probably re-edit the whole thing to make a whole single audiobook. But at the same time, I think we won't do anything other than finishing all the books into audiobooks because that was the original goal. If then later on something happens and someone proposes something, I don't think will back off.
I mean, if you, I think the answer for that question was I don't think it would become anything other than audiobooks. It wouldn't become like a let's say like a movie or a comic. I don't think that we'll ever do anything like that, considering audiobooks are what have been working for us. We've been producing fairly decent audiobooks. So I think that sticking to just audiobooks would probably be best for the channel, and having just this having good quality audiobooks, I think would be best, because we haven't tried anything other than audiobooks. But in the same way, it would probably be best to stay safe with just keeping the good quality audiobooks that we have.
I think right now we're kind of stick to the format that we have of just keeping it to audiobooks. I mean, unless we really come up with a really, really crazy idea. At the moment, I think we're happy with where we're at and how our format is going, so we're just kind of stick to this for the moment.
All right, so we've got another question from Ark, the Cyberwing. Who are your top 3 favorite Wings of Fire characters? I'm gonna say, going from 3rd place to 1st place, Kibble, Turtle, Fathom.
Let's see. I'd probably say I started to really love Queen Ruby since I do voice actor, and I just started growing an attachment to her. A rock that Sundew kicked. I don't know why, but I really had an attachment to the rock that Sundew kicked in one of those. I forgot what chapter it was, but he kicked a rock, and I liked that rock. And let's see, I don't have a third. I don't think I have a third. I really like Turtle.
Y'all ready for mine?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Plant Dad Bandrake, first of all.
I love it.
Plant Daddy, first of all, because I vibe him in every single way possible at the moment. Probably Turtle and then Kibble as my 3.
Should I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. I'm actually gonna say my top 4 because you can't leave this one out. Okay, so my 4th favorite is Blob from Darkstalker. Blob.
We need him back. We need
We
him
do
back
need
in
him
the series.
I wonder if he was immortal because he was Animus touched, but yeah. 3rd favorite is Kibble, and 2nd is Turtle, and 1st is Clay. Because you can't not like Clay.
I mean, like, who doesn't love Clay? I mean, he doesn't do much outside of the first book, but like, I do like him. He's just not in my top 3.
So, one is Glory because I love the sarcasm. This Glory in general is one of the best characters for me. Stalker, the best villain. I feel like he had a good character arc. I don't really have a favorite.
Desert, you just joined back, so you might have missed the question. But go ahead, Grog. I know you wanted to talk first. Go ahead.
My favorite ties Fathom and Darkstalker. Second would Scarlet and third is Blue.
Wait, is it favorite or least favorite?
Favorite.
Three favorites.
Even harder. Oh, is it my turn?
If you want.
Oh, okay. Favorite. That's hard. Recently, I noticed that I love Sandwings really much. Almost a good half of my favorites are Sandwings, like the Three Sisters, Onyx. Shut up, Boyd. And generally, I love the villains. I actually hated Scarlet before I started voicing her, and I started to love her sassiness and, in general, her behavior. So yeah, I have a tendency to love villains. Darkstalker, as everyone does. I love him, but mainly because of the angst, like the fact that it was supposed to be good, that everything was going to be good, and then no matter what they did, everything went south. Also love Clearsight more than Moon because Clearsight at least have some real struggle because a freaking ton of futures ahead of you, while not to diminish her, but having only anxiety doesn't make you special. Like, because Moon is basically the Mary Sue, the girl who had trouble, but is lovable, is pretty, is good at hunting, is good at everything. Also has struggles because, oh, anxiety, oh, I have a friend that is bad but he's good, all that kind of stuff, and ends up with a good guy and all of that. But yeah, I like Moon, but I don't like her trope as a character. I empathize with her, but I don't love her in that way. And from the second arc, I love Turtle because he's a poor boy who didn't deserve what happened to him. Talking about someone who yelled at 2 years old Dragonette for not finding someone. And yeah, that's it.
And also for Turtle, it's like, imagine happening to look almost identical to the villain's former best friend who betrayed him, and also happening to have extremely rare godly powers similar to said best friend who betrayed the villain.
I mean, he almost had his face melted off by just just by looking like someone.
All right. We're getting kind of backed up on questions here. All right, you ready for the next one? Do we get everybody to answer? The last one.
I think.
Okay.
Okay,
All
so I
right.
think
Next question.
So we have a question from Yellow J. If you could be in any major scenes in Wings of Fire, which ones? It can be more than one, but I prefer one scene. Okay, would it just be like we would replace a character, or would we just kind of be there invisible and spectating?
I think the second one.
Scorching. It's not visible, but I'd love to be in the scorching.
Oh yeah. Just to know what happens.
We'd need a Legends book about the Scorching too. We'd make it happen.
No, I think that Tui is planning something about a book that is gonna explain a bit more about the Scorching, or that the Scorching is gonna be explained in one of the books. I don't know where, but it was in the recent interview she made, I think.
I would, besides the Scorching, the Darkstalker vs Icewing battle in Book 10.
Ooh. Yeah, probably. I'd like to be in the brightest night, the false brightest night, where Torn is being, where the new queen is being chosen, and where the battle between two specific Skywings happens, and one of them dies, and we discover another Skywing.
My scene's gonna be kind of out there, but look, when Vermilion is announcing in the arena, I wanna feel that atmosphere.
Of course you do.
Okay, well, if yours is out there, mine's going to be even worse. Because mine would be probably my favorite scene in the whole series. And this is from Darkstalkers, so spoiler warning.
Oh.
No,
Okay,
not
no,
that
it's
one.
no, it's not Arctic's death scene. It's
Okay. Thank God.
it's the scene where Fathom is reading Darkstalker's scroll and finds out like Indigo has been trapped inside the carving on his desk for months.
Oh.
I'd love to be either at the
I mean,
Darkstalker.
you've seen it. I drew that scene.
I have seen it. Yeah, that's that
I-
one drawing you did.
I'd
Yeah,
love,
I touched it up a few weeks ago.
feels from Darkstalker. I either want to be at Arctic's death or Albatross's massacre.
Alright, let's do
Jesus.
some of the other.
I mean, those were great scenes, just not the ones I would want to witness because it would probably scar me for life.
Love to witness those.
Good to know.
Reading about them
Wow.
is enough for me.
Yeah.
All right. We still got Wombat, Ari, and Gra that need to respond.
Melody scared me so.
All right. So the
Only
question
coming-
is, again is here. If you could be in any major scene in Wings of Fire, which ones? All right, go Wombat, Ari, and Gra. It's your turn.
I'm not really sure, but I think it would be interesting to know more about Queen Coral and Orca. You see their fight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Here you go.
You go.
You okay? Sorry. I have nothing. I was just about to say I have nothing. So go ahead, Ari.
Oh, okay. For me, it would either be when Clay met his siblings, because that was pretty cool, or the burning of Bloodworm Hive.
Alrighty. Okay. Is that everybody?
Gra, you want to go?
She did.
Oh. All right then. So next question. This is kind of a joke question, but so the number one thing. Did you know Chuck E. Cheese is going out of business? Yes, I did know that.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay, so another joke question from Avel, and this was on the Google form where he submitted. Did you know that you could save up to 15% on car insurance by switching to Geico?
I did not know
I
that.
got this. I got a great question to base off of this. What is your
Uh-oh.
favorite 15% on car insurance commercial from Geico? You know the joke ones?
It's too hard to choose. There's so many.
Choose.
Oh
It's-
no! Where would I even start?
Oh my god.
No.
I don't
Okay,
know.
look, I can start. I can even start. It's the one where the guy is like telling the woodchucks to stop chucking their wood. You woodchucks, quit chucking my wood.
You're like really worrying me sometimes.
Me, I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I am perfectly fine.
Woodchucks, this one is mine.
This is me on a regular basis.
Yeah, like there have been too many Geico commercials for me to choose.
All right, fair enough.
Here.
Anybody
There's,
else
like,
want to respond to the guy? Go ahead, Grab. Sorry, my bad.
Like there was like this one, like like father and son, some sort of like renovation commercial. Like I've seen that same commercial since like as long as I can remember. Like they've been playing that same commercial for so many years. You guys probably haven't seen it. I think it's more of a local thing, but still, it's like like father and son, either renovations or home improvement or whatever.
Yeah. Anybody else want to answer the Geico commercial?
I don't have an answer.
I don't even know what you're talking about, so no.
Desert, do you not know what Geico
We
is?
don't have those things here. I don't know.
Don't know that
You don't have car insurance in
Geico.
Italy.
We don't have what?
You don't have car.
insurance.
You talk one about the other. I couldn't hear anything.
So I asked
let's
if
move
you-
on.
Okay.
No. Go
Now
ahead,
I'm
sorry. Go
curious.
ahead.
Like we asked if you do you not have car insurance in Italy.
No, we do, but not with that kind of commercials. Ours are pretty normal.
Oh boy, you haven't you haven't
So you
seen American insurance commercials.
So you don't know that you can save 15% by switching to Geico?
Hours are
But-
pretty
Okay, we need to-
normal, she
Okay,
says.
we need
Good, I
we
don't
need-
care. So,
we need to get
I
this
don't think
back
we
on
have
track.
to go crazy to
complete-
let
Yeah,
people have
okay.
some
we're going completely off the rails here. Let's
Yeah, okay. All right. So this one oh, okay. All right.
What is it?
Apple, let me answer Ashley's one first because she hasn't asked a question yet, and then we'll get back to yours. Okay. All right. So this is by Ashley S. If there was one thing in canon that you could change, what would it be and why? Question.
I remember I had one, but I don't remember which one is it.
Love for it to be Fathom.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
fucking-
the ending. The ending of Darkstalker. I think everyone would want to
Honestly.
change that.
Yeah, I don't know what I would make happen instead, but that ending was just
I mean, we can
Not
go
really
with the same
satisfied.
ending, just let him accept it. If he really wants to go with that ending, just let him accept it instead of tricking him.
If I had to change one thing, and this is from the first movie again, I'm going to bounce back to the first movie.
movie.
Not the first.
Movie.
Excuse me, book. Sorry, I'm
Movie.
getting tied up here. The first book. Okay, Hibitor deserved more love than what he got. Okay, Hibitor did
Mhm.
not need to die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would change that.
Absolutely.
Hibitor did not need to die.
I would say Vetter did need to die because then it establishes Burn as a legitimate threat.
Okay,
Yeah, but
fair enough.
also Asha. Would you imagine how good it would have been if Clay had an aunt?
It would be cool, but do you really think Asha would care that much for him? Even okay, maybe that's a stupid question. She did deliver his egg, so
Yeah.
but I feel
He
like she
died for
cared
him.
about she would probably care about the prophecy more than him.
But still, he would care more than his mother did. So that's quite a lot.
True. It's like it's like after 6 or 7 years of living under a mountain, not really seeing the outside world, you finally go back to your home and you find your mother and she's like, "Oh no, I didn't really care about you. I sold you for 2 cows."
Yeah. If he had his aunt, at least he would have known. We would have known that way before, and be less naive. I think.
Okay, anybody else got a response to the if you could change one thing in canon, what would it be and why? Ray, Wombat, or Grok, you got anything?
I don't think I've answered yet. I got a chance to answer. My dog's gonna
okay.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Melody.
Probably, one thing I wonder is, what if Phasm was trapped in the statue instead of Indigo?
Then Indigo would be dead because I'm pretty sure if the second Fathom went missing, Indigo would immediately suspect Darkstalker and try to kill him,
Yeah.
and that wouldn't go too well.
That means Blob would be all alone.
You got anything you would
Blob
change?
Blob is all alone. We don't know where Blob is.
Well, at least we know that Whiteout had a good life, but we would have loved to see some of it. Just
Yeah.
even a bit.
Just go ahead and give Whiteout her own winglet.
Oh, it's been 90 minutes.
I mean, the D&D stream ran for longer, but yeah, we probably should start wrapping this up.
Mm-mm.
We're
Although-
getting an influx of questions too, so let me
Yeah, so I
try
guess-
to.
Okay, so I guess wait. Okay, so Yellow just said I feel like Chewie needs to make an arc about Peacemaker putting on Kibley's earring.
No, Tsui confirmed that. He would just
Yeah,
be
he-
kind of snapped. Yeah.
Yeah, he would turn into Darkstalker momentarily before vaporizing because his immortality spells would be gone and he's 2,000 years old.
Yep. And I think Bayazardia also made a drawing about that, and it was pretty intense. So no, you don't want to see it.
Well, now I want to look it up.
Okay.
Please do.
Do we want to answer the pinned questions that we have here in our chat, or do we want to continue? Do we want to wrap up with the ones we have here? Because I do think
No,
we need to wrap
it'd be
this up
best to
soon.
wrap up.
Okay, let's. Yeah, we will now be closing the live questions. There's one more that we still need to answer. Actually, no, there's two more. First one is from Yellow Jade. Do you think that Ice Wings still have animus blood?
Oh, no, I don't think.
They
Unless,
might. Unless I was gonna say unless Arctic had siblings. Which did he? I don't remember.
I think they
think.
still have the blood because it wouldn't just be vanished if Arctic took it. Because if it's hereditary, then
Okay, like let's just say like Arctic was an only child. Actually, you know what? No, I have the info
yes,
pulled
but
up right now. I'm
the
gonna look
still
it up.
word votes
I'm gonna look it up on the Wings of Fire wiki right now.
God damn it, boys.
I was saying that Arctic wasn't an only child. He had Snow Fox, and even though she had a female partner,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they would have forced her to marry a male just to keep the family going. So it wouldn't be gone. If it's hereditary, they would still have the gene, even if you don't have the animus magic yourself.
hmm.
All
Well,
right, let's answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like if there's some sort of distant cousin or sibling of Arctic who has been having constant descendants, then I guess sure maybe Ice Wings still have animus magic. But think about it, since Stone Mover is an animus, if Sunny ever gets married and has her own kids, she could introduce animus magic back into the Sandwings.
Yeah.
You're correct. Hey,
Because like because let's be honest, I don't think Jerboa has had any kids.
No.
Sunny's also like half, like a quarter Ice Wing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, like, a smaller percentage than that, because I'm pretty sure ever since Whiteout, it's been mostly pure Nightwings that they've been having kids with. So
Yeah. Still leave a bit of Ice Wing, which means technically, if Sunny did have kids and there was animus, both Ice Wings and Sand Wings and even Night Wings would have animus magic.
yeah, but like the amount of Ice Wing in her blood is so small, it may as well be negligible. Like she doesn't look anything like an Ice Wing. She is just the pure Sandwing Nightwing hybrid that we know and love.
Let's move on to the last question that we have here.
Okay.
Okay. Oh my gosh, wind tunnel. Alright, so that one's by Yellow. So that's another one by Yellow. Do we want to answer the one before it? Let's answer the one before it and then call it quits. So this is by Arc the Cyberwing. Sega or Nintendo? What would you choose?
Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo.
Nintendo.
So,
Well,
Sony was
Nintendo.
I think that was unanimous.
if Sony was also added, be a tie between Nintendo and Sony.
Having played the Sega, I would say I would maybe on like if I was feeling like an old kind of vibe, like if I was wanting to game on some old games, maybe like the OG Sonic back on Sega, but Nintendo easily.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Nintendo and Square Enix are the only things I play.
Sega has literally moved to like third parties. Oh.
Right. I think that's all the questions then that we have time for.
There is one that's what was your most recent injury, but
Okay.
Not sure if we want to answer that.
Not really. I'll pass on that one.
Yeah, me too.
Roll again.
Little scats of mine. Is that it? That's it?
Yeah, I think so.
For fan questions, Thunder said.
So, I think we're done.
Thank you all
Do
for
you want
coming.
to wrap us up, or somebody can wrap us up?
Right. Thank you all for watching. So our next stream will be on the first Saturday of August, probably. We don't know the exact date. Let me just look at my calendar here. That is August 1st. Okay, so yeah, it's just over 4 weeks from now. So we don't know. Let's see. Aval says, "See you all in 4 days."
Yeah,
yeah,
Talon's premiere. Yeah.
True.
That's 2 days, not 4, Aval. So, yeah. So we haven't officially decided on a topic for our next stream yet. But if you want to know in advance, then you can join our Discord server down below. So thank you all for watching.
4 days because last time. No, never mind. I miscalculated. My bad.
Yeah, it premieres on Sunday. Today is Friday. Sunday is 2 days away.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Abel was talking about when he's coming. He's going somewhere, so when he'll be back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
Well, have a nice trip, Aval.
Have fun.
Cordell, that's too bad. Well, I mean, you can still keep updated on as long as you if you're subbed to the channel or whatnot, you can still keep up with when we're doing our uploads.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have enough. Hopefully, sometime in the not too distant future, we can get enough subscribers to finally get access to the community tab.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we need let me check.
It's 1,000. We need
Yeah,
1,000.
700 more. So not soon.
Yeah, we got a bit of a grind before we get there.
Yeah, but I think we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the end of the year.
Hopefully.
Well, everyone, we appreciate you coming out. I just want to thank Void. He hasn't been able to talk much, but I appreciate Void for hosting the live stream for us today.
Yeah. Sadly, he had problems with the connection and in general his devices. But he managed to be witty enough to just sneak in from time to time.
For coming out, we're gonna cut bait now. Does anybody else have anything else to say before we completely?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
hope everyone have a lovely day.
Yeah, have a lovely day or evening or morning, whatever you're doing.
Whatever your part is. Whatever part of day you're in, have a nice day, and we will see you on Sunday if you're coming out for the Talons premiere.
Which you should. Talons is a good book.
And which you will, because we'd be offended. No, we won't, but
We spent a lot of time on it.
yeah.
Yes, like accusing someone of they call it a personal attack if they don't show up. Yes, very professional.
But don't worry, you're not forced to come. But we'll be offended. But don't worry.
Okay.
All right. Bye,
Let's
everyone.
cut it, y'all. All right, bye, y'all.